The Riverside Police Department's rich in history. We have a lot of tradition here. A little bit over 20 years ago, we found ourselves in a consent decree for 5 years through the Attorney General in the state of California over a controversial shooting in our city. What that meant for us was we went through major and sweeping reform for that 5-year period, which we've been able to sustain to this day. One of the issues that were paramount were building different types of programs and community groups within the department that engage our community even more. Grassroots community members, faith-based community members, business community members, and when you have those relationships developed, it allows you to build trust in your community. So we've worked diligently and very hard in the last 20 years to maintain those relationships.
I believe Riverside has done a phenomenal job in their ability to engage, understanding what the community's needs are and how they can better serve the families and the people that reside in those communities. So the Changing Outcomes program is a 3-hour training, and we really want to first of all remind officers of who they are. They're more than law enforcement officers, they're life enforcement officers, they're educators, they're counselors, they're coaches. We want to let them know that the greatest weapon that they have is not what's on their hip, but it's what's within them, their ability to engage their communities and to empower them.
What differs from traditional policing is to be quite frank, it's the homeless situation and mental illness throughout our city. That's why it's very important for us to develop teams like our public safety engagement team and our other teams that we have that every time they go out, they come with resources that are available.
3 of the teams that we have at our department, our public safety engagement team, our CBAT team, the community behavioral health assessment team, and our park and neighborhood specialist team. PSET addresses the impact of homelessness. Some of the services that we offer are shelter, housing, hygiene kits, referrals to mental health facilities, and substance abuse programs, while also enforcing the law when needed through a restorative justice approach. The CBAT team is a benefit to our community by having specially trained officers along with a mental health clinician to respond to individuals having a mental health crisis. Some of the responsibilities of the CBAT team are clinical risk assessments, crisis intervention, de-escalation, engagement and report building, and referrals and transportation to appropriate services. The reason we created the Park and Neighborhood Specialist team is in response to our community's desire to have safer and more welcoming parks, public spaces, and neighborhoods. Our plan is to be able to go out and reach more of our community members with a softer approach instead of having your normal sworn officers out there in uniform to create more relationships and public trust within our community.
It makes me feel good that other agencies in our region will come to us as leaders in training. One of the things we're very proud of is our de-escalation training or use of force training. We are the largest city in the county of Riverside. We're the county seat. So we want to lead by example. We want to be the leading agency in our area.
We've started a program called the Integrating Communication, Assessment and Tactics, ICAT, which we adopted from the Police Executive Research Forum. So the training it's mostly about dealing with non-firearm critical incidents. So people in crisis, people armed with something other than a gun, who are confronting the police, suicide by cop situations. We're trying to convince our officers to take more time, use better tactics, and save more lives. So we don't want the situations to end up where we go home okay. We want the situation to end up where everyone goes home okay. Us, bystanders, and the person in crisis. Well, I think we're trying to create a shift in law enforcement mindset. So typically in law enforcement, we have kind of a culture of speed, like, hey, drop your coffee, we have to go there and handle this issue. And what we try to do is say, hey, there are times when speed is absolutely important, but if there's no active violence, then we need to get there and take as much time as possible so that everybody comes out of it okay.
The Riverside Police Department has built trust with the members of its community by the different checks and balances that are in place to ensure accountability and transparency. The supervisor administrative review process allows us to look critically at incidents such as uses of force, pursuits, property damage incidents, and complaints, where we can actually sit down, we can watch the video, we can read the reports together and say, hey, listen, moving forward, these are lessons learned, maybe some things to think about, some considerations, some options. So in the event that they are presented with a situation that is very similar in the future, they have something to draw upon. It gives us the opportunity to have those coaching, those developmental moments with our police officers to ensure that they have longevity in this extremely challenging profession.
I think that's a valuable component trust on both ends within the department and the community so officers can do their job effectively. And as long as we can continue to be a model agency, we will get people that want to come here, that want to work at this department.
My time with the Riverside Police Department has been outstanding. The interaction that the department has with its community is nothing I've ever experienced in my now 20+ years. And the way the command staff and fellow officers embraced me as one of their own made it the best career decision I've ever made.
So my career path started at the age of 14 when I joined the Riverside Police Explorers. As an explorer, I was able to go on multiple ride-alongs with Riverside police officers that showed me firsthand the experience of what I could be doing in the future. These dreams became a reality after many years of dedication and hard work on January 10th of 2019 when I graduated the academy.
I would say to any other department that wants to implement a strategy as Riverside Police Department has adopted is to be proactive. Don't wait for the media to drive your actions. Get to know your community and the community needs and hear the voice of the people that you are serving. It's one of the most powerful things, but knowing how to do that is difficult, but it's necessary.